Welcome back. Today we are joined by the president of Women's Worth, Jeannette Bajalia. She's a radio talk show host, a published author, and has been featured on CNBC, The Wall Street Journal, and in Forbes magazine, just to name a few, all for her expertise in managing money into retirement, especially for women. You help men as well, but especially women for this, when we're going to talk today for Women's Worth. So thank you so much.
It's great to be with you, Karen.
It's wonderful to have you again. Tell us about why this is so important for women.
Women are competing some obvious things. Longevity. That's the good news and bad news. We're living way long. Actually, the statistics are one out of four 65-year-olds are going to live beyond 90, and 1 out of 10 are going to live beyond 95. And women outlive their spouses, so there are some planning issues, some retirement issues that need to be carefully considered, because we're going to be spending the majority of our adult lives active, and we need to make sure there's plenty of money to get us there.
Right, and that's one of the things that when people get ready to retire and are thinking about retiring, it's not always just the end of your life that you're thinking, oh, I'm going to, kind of fade out into the sunset in my golden years, because oftentimes you're living pretty much in retirement longer than you did in the working world. Isn't that correct? That's a shocking.
That's overwhelming. Yeah. I know. I can't believe, because you're going to be retired 3 or 4 decades. That's 30 to 40 years, and most people think that they're going to only be working 25 to 30 years. So the whole notion of retirement has to be really carefully thought out and planned out from the perspective of protecting your lifestyle. Do you have enough money to protect that lifestyle?
Because you can always live large when you're making big money, but it's if you haven't planned for the future, you can't really continue the lifestyle that you're accustomed to.
Exactly.
Is that what people come to tell you when they're having issues?
Well, most people come to me with number one fear. And that is, I want to make sure I don't run out of money. I'm afraid I'm going to run out of money. And that is what women fear the most. They fear that more than death. And then women don't want to be a burden on their children. So we need to do very intensive planning just to make sure you have what you need when you need it at the various stages of your life, so you can live in a dignified manner and make sure that you have what you want when you want, because you don't want to be 80 and flat broke. Because you're going to be active. I had a woman call into my office just 2 weeks ago, and she was 83 years old, still playing tennis 3 times a week, and she says, I'm worried I'm going to run out of money because I'm still going strong.
And what do you tell somebody that calls in with that kind of a problem?
You need to get in. You need to get a lifetime income plan so we can make sure we have everything, all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, and position all of your money to work for you so you never have to worry about running out of money.
Okay, so everyone potentially has a longevity risk then. And then generating income in your retirement, how would we, go about doing something like that?
Well, typically it's the plan. When you have an integrated lifetime income plan, which is an integrated retirement plan, the plan informs what you should do with money. That's what's wrong with the financial services industry. Basically, everybody's running out there chasing yields or chasing this or chasing growth. But when you're retired, you're out of that accumulation growth stage. You're into protecting your principal and then figuring out how to live off of the yield or off of the growth or off of that principle so you never run out of money. So a plan determines what you should do with your money. And at Women's Worth, we use bucket strategies, and that's one of the most important solutions to make sure that you have buckets of money for every phase of your very senior years.
And I've heard, a lot of people, like you were talking about, when they're making a lot of money, it's not such a big deal for them to maybe get into risk type of accounts, more with the stock market and things like that. But then as people age, they want to be secure that money is going to be coming back to them, maybe in some form of a dividend from their investment. So they want to be doing something that is more structured and maybe not as whimsical, if you will. In the stock market, as we know, and we've lived through that in 2008, it can just plummet. And what if there's a correction again? Then we're all starting again.
If you're over 55 years old, you can't afford those corrections any longer, because you may not have the luxury of keeping that job longer, because you might get downsized or outsized or right-sized, and so you really need to make sure that you have a lifestyle income protection plan that protects you for the lifestyle that you've spent 30 years dreaming about.
Now, I understand that you have something special for the viewers who are watching our show today. Is that right?
Yes. Okay. I'm going to offer the viewers a complimentary Women's Worth Retirement Income Master Plan. And I get really excited about this
Yeah.
because it's free and it's customized. It's not a one-size-fits-all plan. It's not a off-the-shelf report that you tend to find frequently. And so what it is it gives you the opportunity to really understand some basic things that you need. It's free. It's totally complimentary for the first 20 callers who are qualified. And what you get out of this income master plan is, one, you will get a reality check. Are your current savings going to make sure you don't run out of money? Two, you're going to understand the tax implications of your retirement savings. You're going to also understand some very little known strategies that we employ that ensure that we can save you tens of thousands of dollars in taxes and fees and penalties. You'll understand how to protect yourself from the skyrocketing costs of healthcare, of inflation, and most importantly, we will teach you how to convert your life savings into income every single month, where you get it like clockwork till the day you die. And this report is complimentary for the first 20 qualified callers, but let me kind of explain why we say qualified. If you have $250,000 saved for retirement, then you're qualified to pick up the phone and give us a call. Because, Karen, it's important to know that we have a recipe, and the reason we put a qualification of $250,000 is if we give you a recipe, you've got to have some groceries. So for the first 20 callers who called 904-429-1135, and that's 904-429-1135, you can get this complimentary roadmap to secure your retirement.
And that makes a lot of people feel better.
Oh yeah, it's all about the roadmap.
You got it. All right. Jeannette, thank you so much for coming in. Women's Worth, phone number's up there on your screen. A pleasure, as always.
Thanks a bunch, Karen.
Okay, very good.